Yes, people, welcome back to the First 11. It's the EFL show. I'm joined by Aaron. Obviously, Doncaster having a fantastic result this weekend. Argyle can go suck my in whatever. Like, they're, they're, the best way to describe it is Ryan Lowe knows the problems, and the players are a big part of them problems. That's all I'm gonna say. I will get into them. For Lone Watch, I've put R2 Loneys down as shit again. Just pathetic. But before we get into all of that, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new. Make sure you smash in the like button. Plenty of content coming absolutely every day. And yeah, plenty to get into. But apparently there's been some news at the worst team in League One. Isn't that right, Aaron?
Yeah, don't worry, I'm just shielding myself from the utter shite that Donny have been the last few weeks with the mask. I'm going to catch the Doncaster virus where I become shit every week. But no, in all seriousness, there's been some breaking news within the last half an hour. It's been confirmed by the club that the vacancies are now officially open to be called the Doncaster Rovers manager. The position is open. The vacancy will close on April the 19th, so it's just a week opening. There's dozens of interest. There's been dozens of interest since Moore left, which is very exciting indeed. And basically, the plan for the club have come out with a plan. I said it in my review of the Bristol Rovers game, I think it was, or just the previous game before that, the Wigan result that we're going to go through. I said the club needs to come out now and get the fans that are against the board on side by announcing this is what the plan is. They've answered my prayer. They clearly watched my video and said this is what we're going to do. They've announced that the manager and the replacement talent and identification manager, who's replacing Adam Henschel, who's leaving for Aston Villa on Friday. So his replacement and the new manager will be announced a few days after the end of this current campaign. So it gives them the full summer to recruit. Now, I can't remember the entire criteria, but there's a few points that sort of stuck out to me, and that was you've got to have experience of the EFL, loads of experience. You've got to have a commitment. You've got to be a leader. You've got to get results on and off the pitch. You've got to play attractive football. You've got to have an excellent, and I highlight that word, excellent range of connections. And you've also got to have the chance to open up the pathway even more for youth to come through to first team football and to further commit yourself to work with Club Doncaster, who's part of the college that's part of the club. That's like the college of graduates getting the scholarships into the academy and going through to the first team squad in the future. So a lot of short-term and long-term goals in this criteria with the managerial situation. I've seen a lot of names being mentioned already. Even before the news today, there was 3 names mentioned on a Daily Record Sport article, which is a verified Scottish news source, which are reporting that if Mickey Mellon leaves Dundee United at the end of this season, he could be potentially that there's potential interest in the Rovers job. And there's 2 other names that were mentioned in that article as well that was apparently interested. Richie Wellens and the former Man United member of the recruitment, Nicky Butt. Now,
surely, if they need to have EFL experience, it can't be Nicky Butt then.
Exactly. That's the thing that sort of rules Nicky Butt out for me. There's a lot of people mentioning other names as well. People mentioning Neil Harris. People having a laugh about saying that Gary Megson's going to get his Stevie out at some point. But you don't forget it's attractive football, so that rules out Megson completely. But no, it's basically they're looking for someone who can play attractive football and be a leader and get results on the pitch. To all the fans that are bored out, and you know what, to be fair, I've looked at the board and said, you know what, this season maybe they've made several mistakes this season, especially with giving Butler the obviously it was a continuity appointment, but now I know the plan in place. I still do what I do, and that's trust the board. And maybe the fans that were bored out can now start to trust the board more now. And it all depends on who we're going to bring in. And it's nice that they're going to be giving us this idea now. And it means that they're going to announce the manager a few days after the end of the season. So we've got the full sort of few months to prepare for next season under this new manager with the right the new talent identification manager as well, because that replacement's going to get announced as well right around the end of the season as well. So Adam Henschel's replacement's going to get announced. That's going to be decided hopefully in the next few days behind the scenes, then announced at the end of the season with the new manager. Adam Henschel's leaving on Friday. On Friday this week. He's going to go to Aston Villa, of course, in the Premier League. We knew that a few weeks ago. So we're preparing for next season, and hopefully that means exciting recruitment and an exciting time for Rovers. But aside from that piece of news, it's been a really shit week again this week.
Basically,
anyone in the comments, comment down below. Any people out of work or any people you think they could pay the compensation money for? Because I've seen names like Mickey Mellon being tossed around, Richie Wellens. Some people have said Neil Harris. Gary Monk's been tossed around. But the criteria did say attractive football. That doesn't really fit the mold. But Mark Cooper, he's out of work at Forest Green Rovers now, which we'll probably go through in the League Two stuff. But he's out of work now, and the fact that he was one of the bookies' favourites when Grant McCann left before Darren Moore stepped in. He was one of the favourites to take over there. So, maybe Mark Cooper's back in the running for a second time. One of the early favourites when Grant McCann left was Roy Keane. He was one of the early bookies' favourites. Is Roy Keane in the running? We don't know. But apparently dozens of names were interested when Moore left, never mind when Butler got appointed. So hopefully at least some of those dozens of names are going to be back into the applications, and Moore will join. But apparently there's a lot of interest in the job, which is very, very exciting indeed, and hopefully this means a bright future for Doncaster Rovers, and hopefully that means we're on the promotion charge next season.
No, look, it will take time. No, I'm being serious. It will take time. New manager comes in. The only reason Ryan Lowe worked so well at Argyle in League Two in the first season is firstly because our playing squad was very good for League Two. Right?
You were too good for League Two. You were too good for League Two.
We should never have been relegated in the first place, but we won't get back into that because Derek Adams is a cunt. But in terms of Ryan Lowe, it only worked because our playing squad was very strong. He brought a lot of people from Bury with him, the likes of Danny Mayer, Joe Edwards, Aimson, Byron Moore, others. He brought a lot of experience in to work with what we've got. So yeah, I mean that's the only reason it works. Yeah, because at the end of the day,
I'll give the new manager 2 or 3 years. If he doesn't get promoted or at least 6th place in 2 or 3 years, then it's gone.
To be saying promotion in the first season is ridiculous.
Oh, no. I'd like to get promotion in the first year, but I'm going to give the manager 2 or 3. I'm going to give the manager maximum 2 or 3 years. If he doesn't get at least 6th or 7th by the end of those 2 or 3 years, then we start to look and say, was it the right appointment, and is the football exciting? What the criteria is?
Too much is made of this exciting football. I mean, we've only really started playing exciting football since Ryan Lowe came in. As long as it gets results, you could literally play you could play Jose Mourinho style football. We could win every game. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care in the slightest. Because at the end of the day,
it's just the criteria said attractive football.
I couldn't give a shit about attractive football. I want to win, right? And I want whatever's gonna make me win. That's the thing about the criteria. They said attractive football, but also someone that can get exceptional results as well. So it's someone that can deliver both. It's very, very rare, but if you find the right person, it could be something very special. Yeah, they do need backing as well. League One, very difficult.
Look at Barnsley. Look at Barnsley. Gerard Struble was not the man. The board didn't really back him as much. They got rid of him. They brought in Valentin Ismail. He brought a nice brand of football to Barnsley, even though the board might not be the best in the world. Ismail brought something exciting to Barnsley, and they're now in the playoffs for the Premier League. We can try to get to that stage.
You need backing.
Yeah, we need backing, and the board backed Ismail.
You can't just not back the manager and expect results.
No, that's what I mean.
That is precisely half the issues. But moving on, because we have got limited time.
I was going to say, Barnsley didn't back Struble.
I'm not talking Doncaster Rovers. I would actually genuinely rather Go watch Exeter play. Chris saying big up to the panel. I think this is going to be a rant stream. Look, I can't even be bothered to rant anymore. What's the actual point?
I'm too used to seeing it.
There's no point ranting. It's done. No haircut for Aaron. Don't believe so.
I'm going to get it cut at some point in the next week. Don't worry.
Can't believe Mark Cooper was sacked by Forest Green Rovers. Don't really get it. Nah, it's an odd one, but
no,
to be fair,
the form is terrible, and some fans weren't a fan of him anyway.
Well, I don't care if the form's terrible. Form is not a reason to sack a manager. He's at Forest Green. He's in Forest Green in the playoffs in League Two.
Unless something was happening behind the scenes.
Potentially, but that's still, in my eyes, absolutely ridiculous. Winning games, all that matters doesn't matter about the style of play. Look, I that's what I'm about. Look, I would love Argyle to play a lovely, free-flowing football that's beautiful on the eye, score lots of goals. But if that ain't going to get us results and we have to park the bus and snatch a 1-0 win, I'll take that as well.
That's why I was happy with Darren Moore sometimes, because I think I remember in the FA Cup, we were playing attractive football for the first half, and then we got the one goal against Blackburn in the FA Cup. We had to park the bus for 40 minutes, and we pulled out and got the win through the FA Cup and got to face West Ham. We couldn't face Man United or Liverpool, so it doesn't have to be attractive all the time, just a game plan that's an attractive game plan.
If people demand free-flowing, attacking, pretty football, blah, 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 like Pochettino. The thing is, what did Pochettino win? Nothing. I want to win. I don't care about style of play. That's all for the FIFA
best two
boys,
things
right?
that Pochettino got was getting close to the Premier League and then Leicester won to third.
You're missing. Firstly, you're missing the point of what I'm saying. The point I'm saying is it doesn't matter about the style of. I was about to swear then about the style of play, and about all of that. What matters is results. The 3 points on a Saturday afternoon is all that matters. I don't care how we achieve it. We could literally have the hand of God every week and I wouldn't care. Because at the end of the day, I just want points. Right? That is my the whole pretty football, that's for the FIFA boys or the teenagers that play FIFA and go, that boy resembles what I do on FIFA. Get over it. We're in the EFL, win games, move on. Talking of winning games,
it's a tough league.
Oh, of course it is. They're all tough. Kristen saying the MK Dons game was a stink fest. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. MK Dons. Yeah, it was. You were playing Ipswich, of course. It was going to be a stink fest.
I can't laugh about MK Dons though, because they beat us.
But moving on to some games quickly. Accrington Stanley 1, Wimbledon 5. Wimbledon smashing Stanley, and just going to show that anyone can beat anyone on their day.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Wimbledon just absolutely steamrolled them. Accrington, they got the lead, and then Accrington just fell apart gradually after the minutes. And Wimbledon played like they were looking to play for a purpose. They were playing for something. They were playing for survival. Accrington, after the first goal, played like they didn't have anything to play for. It's either they were comfortable or they knew they weren't going to get promoted or relegated. They were just trying to comfortably ride it out, and they were just getting torn apart defensively. And there was a couple of defensive mistakes that led to goals, but the other goals were just individual brilliance from Wimbledon. And maybe that's the win that puts Wimbledon as one of the two teams out of the 6 fighting for the bottom 4 places. Maybe Wimbledon could be one of the two teams off the back of this win. Maybe this could give them the form.
I think it's so tight at the bottom. The only team going down is Rochdale, in my opinion.
Rochdale's stunning. If we win against Rochdale in a few weeks, we could relegate. Depending on our form, we could relegate Rochdale.
The rest of them, for me, is far too tight. Anyone from Northampton in 19th to Swindon in 23rd, that's 5 teams.
I think it's 5 teams. I think it's 5 teams in 3 places to join Rochdale. So
it's an interesting one. Obviously, Wigan and Wimbledon have games in hand, though, so that could prove vital. Moving on, middle of the table clash, or sort of was. Oxford are chasing down the playoffs. 6-0 it finished there. Crewe 0, Oxford 6. Goals galore in the first 2 games. What are your thoughts on that one?
Oh my God, I saw the highlights from that. Crew I think the manager David Artell said it best. They surrendered. They absolutely surrendered. Like the French Revolution, we surrender, wave the white flag. They were just, and Oxford played with a purpose. Crew played like they were comfortable, not going to get promoted, not going to get relegated, just see out this season and go again next year. And Oxford just turned on the style. And I'd feel sad if Oxford didn't get into the playoffs this year because, yes, it's a late charge and there's been bad runs of form that can blame that kind of result of the season on in the end. But Oxford, with those wins, with that capability to do that amount of damage to a side, they could be dangerous next season. If they don't get playoffs this season, they could be really dangerous. It all depends on if they don't do what they did at the start of this season, and that's play with a bad run of form, because they start off bad in the late charge, it doesn't always get you promoted in the playoffs. Yeah. So you've got to start off well and finish well.
For me, and this is going to sound so Michael Owen, there's 46 games. Whoever lends where, they deserve it, right?
Exactly.
Because that is no freak, right? You've had 46 games. Blah blah blah. The EFL clubs transfer news won't happen until the summer, mate. It's very rare that you'll see teams sort of discussing. It's very unlike the Premier League where they do have transfer news in Leagues 1 and 2, mate. Firstly, we don't even know the squad retains list yet. That will come out sort of, I think, a week after the end of the season. But yeah, transfers in the bottom two. It's so weird because they're never really pre-done. They normally happen in the summer when all the budgets are announced. They're not as organised.
And you know what? I speak from experience with this, especially what I was speaking about with my club earlier. We're not going to have any links until the new manager is announced and the new head of talent and identification manager is announced. And
also,
I see all these bullshit accounts messaging me saying, "Oh, you're linked with Miguel Elziz on a free transfer from Arsenal. Oh, you're linked with Cody McDonald from the non-league." Sorry, I've never heard of him. They're not true until the manager is in place.
The other thing is we also have to bear in mind that money is going to be very tight. Obviously, Indiana, your club's helped with this, but we're actually really struggling in the EFL, thanks to Manchester United and the other teams being just selfish ass bastards. There's a lot of anger in me today. I don't know where it's come from. Transfer news in Leagues 1 and 2 don't happen. This season, there'll be a lot of free transfers. There'll be a lot of people out of contract going to other places. We'll spend limited money. I expect we'll spend no more.
There is actually a Fan Banter article on the Fan Banter website of 166 Championship players out of contract this summer, and it's not just ones that could sign new deals or go to other clubs in the Championship or even higher in the Premier League. It's also players that could literally drop down to League One just to get first team football. You look at some of the younger players from the likes of Huddersfield, etc. There's some really good talent in there that will play at League One level.
If there's money. So let's say our goal, for example, right? We've got a clear structure, a clear plan, a clear identity now with Ryan. We can convince players that are probably better than us to come down. Hopefully a few of them are centre backs. But we do need to carry on as well.
We're in the same situation because we're going to convince people to be manager.
Not really, because we've got a manager. You can't be.
No. When we get the new manager in place, we'll then convince them.
You can't have an identity and all of this and a structure if you haven't got a manager.
I don't know what I mean. Once the new manager's in place, we'll know how we can negotiate and recruit.
Even then, that's still very much debatable. With Ryan, you've got.
We still need to replace and we still got to announce our replacement for Adam Henschel, who's going to Aston Villa on Friday. So.
Yeah, we know about that. Also. The other thing that I was going to say is that we have got that structure and we've got proof of it for the last 2 years of the way we played. So that is what players are looking for as well, especially the players that are about 28, 29. This is pretty much their last big contract. If we can put money down, that's that. Chris saying agreed, Rochdale are going down. Bowles saying exactly the same. But you want to talk about your club, Doncaster Wigan?
Oh boy, that's the next fixture, isn't it? Doncaster Rovers losing 4-1 against Wigan Athletic. What can I say about that? That was just an abysmal display. Players came out before the game and said the pennies finally dropped. They've got a look of determination in their eyes. Then Butler said it in the press conference. They said, that there seems to be a struggle to get that from the training pitch onto the actual pitch. And there's a bit of controversy over Coppinger not being involved in the squad. Butler came out and said he blew his knee in training. That came out of nowhere. Other people are saying, well, is this a cover-up because he came out and said what he said after the last defeat and ripped into the whole squad and said it was embarrassing, and now he's been dropped for it? Would you do that to a club legend like Coppinger? He's just telling it how it is.
Yes, because no club is bigger than the player.
No, it's not about that.
If there's discontent between the manager and the player, right? Let's say I'm manager, one of my players is slagging me and my team off in the press. They're not playing my next game. They'll be lucky if they don't end up with a smack in the mouth and a boot to their head. That's as bluntly as possible. Don't disrespect your boss.
Oh yeah, I get that.
You may not agree with it, but you have to have a degree of professionalism. If any of my players came out like that, if an Argyle player came out like that, as refreshing as it would be, I'd be absolutely boiling with them. I'll be furious because I want that stuff kept in the dressing room.
Yeah, so, I get that. It's just that when Coppinger comes out and says that, it's from a fan's point of view, it's actually like now these players need to look at that and say, right, one of the most experienced players, one of the man that he's Mr. Doncaster, he knows the club, he's been here for 17 years. He knows what it takes to go up and what it takes to get back on form. If he's come out and said that's embarrassing, we need to fucking fix up mentally and do something about it. But some of those players do not have a heart for the match.
There's a time and a place. In the middle of the press is not one of them, right? That you say in the dressing room. You say that in the dressing room, away from absolutely nobody. That's what I would be doing. I wouldn't be doing that in the middle of the press so that everyone can hear it. That's just mad.
Yeah, I agree. Keep behind the scenes, but I think on the pitch, just to go back to the game, on the pitch, it was poor, it was shambolic, it was lackadaisical. We basically gifted Wigan 3 goals in the first half. The only bright spark was really the weird thing is Balcombe conceded 4 goals as a goalkeeper, but he wasn't at fault for any of the goals. Apart from the 4 goals, he was actually all right. But he wasn't at fault for them. The only other player I give praise to, the only 3 players I give praise, Balcombe. Then the only other 2 players I praise is Taylor Richards, which is weird because he came up, we made 2 changes at half time because we were 3-0 down, it was shit. We brought on Taylor Richards, he scored an absolute worldie from 20 yards, brilliant curler, shot, 3-1. Okay, use that goal at half time, give you the confidence. We bring Reece James off, we bring Danny Amos on, bearing in mind we brought on Richards and Bostock. Then what do? Instead of taking off Lakilo, who's been absolutely shit in this game, we leave him on for 90 minutes. And first of all, we take Matt Smith off, who has actually had a decent work rate. We bring on Madja Gomez in the holding midfield position, who's been consistent for about a year and a half. And he couldn't even make a 5-yard.
Hold on, we'll get into Matt Smith later, but from the stats I saw, 1 minute.
We'll not focus on Matt Smith. We'll not focus on Matt Smith.
No. I want to pull you up on a comment you've just made. Said he had his work rate. I looked at his stats and he had a quiet game. Very not making much of an impact. Judging by his passing accuracy, he kept losing the ball. So I mean,
that's what I mean. Like, it's just, to be honest, it was just his. At least he was. The only thing I praise Matt Smith for is he's one of the players that looked like he was up for it. He might have made mistakes like giving the ball away and passing accuracy and things like that, but he looked up for it, like he was ready to make an impact, but he just didn't make an impact, and I feel sorry for him on that occasion. But the worst thing you could do is bring him off for a guy like Madja Gomez who couldn't even make a 5-yard pass. Like the end of the game, for example, he actually passed. He was meant to make a 5-yard pass, and he kicked the ball away. Well, we could have got a goal. Yeah, that's how shit he is.
At the end of the day, I don't know your team completely, but what I'm saying is the manager clearly felt Matt wasn't having a good game and took him off. That's that for me. Judging by what I've seen and everything, that's fair. A couple of comments. Evening, lads. Ignore name, not change it from last time. But Butler said versus Wigan was embarrassing. Same level, in my opinion. Coppin just says it as it is. That's all. Yeah, but there's difference between the manager saying it and someone who isn't the boss.
Yeah, I get that. And then,
big difference. That's like me coming. That's like me. Let's say I work for. Let's say on this channel, obviously Indiana owns it. Imagine if I came out and started slating Indiana for the way he runs his channel. Right? That's not for me to say. That'd be for him to say. Same energy. Respect who's in charge. That's all I say. Pepper saying evening. Yuri saying think it's just fresh eggs with Madja and Matt Smith. Yeah, it well could have been. Matt
and then just to finalise with all of that, we still keep Lakilo on. We think Okunabiri is going to come on. Great. Okay, it might not be going to up front like we all wanted, but you know what? He's bringing Okunabiri on, maybe some extra threat. He doesn't take off Lakilo, who's been shit. He takes off Sims, who, yes, he's come back from injury, and it could be a fresh legs change, but he assisted the goal that we got in the first start. He assisted the Taylor Richards goal.
You precisely explain why he's come off then. He's just been injured. Come on.
I get that, but to be fair, I still don't get why Lakilo. If you're going to bring Okunabiri on, if you're going to bring Okunabiri.
Right, okay, sure. I mean, we can just leave injured players on there and they'll just pick up more injuries.
No.
I like that idea. That seems like a smart idea.
No. What I would have done is I would have, if it's fresh legs, I would have brought Stims off anyway and brought on Okunabiri. But I would have taken the Kilo off and brought on Danny Amos, and I would have put Reece James on the wing with Okunabiri on the right, or James on the right, because you can play both wings. So I would have not. If you couldn't keep Sims on for 90 minutes, fair play. Fair enough, he's not risking it. But I would not have left Lakilo on for 90 minutes because he wasn't making a damn effort. And Bogle as well. I'll stand up and he's only been at the club for a few months, for about 3-4 months. He's still got time to develop. I'll fully judge him. Like I said with Okunabiri about 12 months ago, I'll fully judge him a year and a half into his career at Rovers if he lasts that long. At the minute, he's not showing me. And with John Jules coming back next week, Bogle has got tomorrow's game and Shrewsbury at 12:30 on Saturday to prove why he should start over Tyrese Johnson. Well, to be fair, I'll give him the third and fourth game.
Moving on before this turns into a Doncaster Rovers channel.
It's embarrassing now. It's an embarrassing result. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Let's just leave it at that. Pepper saying he assisted. Yuri said just come back from injury. Physio probably restricted his time. Yeah, probably. Reece James was concussed.
Yeah, he's out for the Burton game now. He's
if he's concussed, he has to come off then.
Yeah, he's out for Burton, and he's going to be out for Shrewsbury. Maybe.
So, do you get a bottle and a pint at half time?
No, I get a nice plate of sausage, chips, and gravy from the chippy.
No Bogle slander. Yuri, Bovril is grim, mate. Sorry, I've not even had Bovril.
I don't even know what Bovril is.
Yeah, it's some hot drink, I think. But we can quickly do these. Fleetwood beat Rochdale 1-0. Not a lot needed there. Gillingham 0, Shrewsbury 0, Ipswich 0, MK Dons 0. We're not going to talk about 0-0s. Jesus Christ. Lincoln getting a point against Blackpool, probably quite fair. Both of them right up there, but Lincoln looking like they could slip out the playoffs.
Yeah, I was actually on a stream with a Lincoln fan while this was on and while our game was on. And obviously, I was raging, but I stayed tuned to the Lincoln result and I had a monitor with the Lincoln result on and seeing how the game was flowing and that. And, in the first half, Blackpool sort of had the dominance, in my opinion. I think the second half, Lincoln came out and they sort of had this fight about them. And I think that Blackpool just fell into the trap. Yes, Blackpool's got some attractive talent, but they can be guilty sometimes of dropping defensive mistakes out of nowhere. So Lincoln fought for that, and they deserved the point. But in terms of long term, I do think Lincoln's bad run of form could see them not getting promoted through the playoffs this year. I think that, it's probably looking like Charlton's going to fight for that playoff place along with Blackpool, Portsmouth.
You've even got Ipswich right behind them with 3 points behind.
Ipswich is shit. They're not getting promoted.
Well, you say that, but they're 3 points behind playoffs. They could well get promoted.
Yeah.
Oxford
we're still 5 points away.
Oxford are there. Oxford are there. Gillingham are there. Doncaster's hit the worst form of its life, so they're not getting promoted. I'll say anyone from...
That's the weird thing. We're still 6 points away.
Yeah, but right. Anyone from Gillingham upwards, I'll say, can go up.
Yeah.
Northampton drew 1-1 with Bristol Rovers. A 78th minute penalty for Northampton to get the point there. A point doesn't really suit either of them.
No, I looked over that penalty decision. It was quite 50-50 in my opinion. I looked over the highlights. It was a very 50-50 penalty in my opinion. I think Bristol Rovers kind of felt a bit hard done by with that one. I think Bristol Rovers had the edgier chances in the game. And yeah, a point's not good for either of them, but both of them could end up going down if they're not careful.
Yeah, Bristol Rovers has 5 games to go for them to save their League One survival. Argyle lost 3-0 to Hull. Portsmouth lost 2-1 to Burton. I'm not even going to give Argyle the satisfaction of talking about them. They're that shit. But Burton beating Portsmouth 2-1, a huge result for Burton. Absolutely mega. It guarantees that Burton are probably safe now. They've really distanced themselves since Hasselbank went in.
I am metaphorically shitting bricks for tomorrow. They have won.
I would.
They have won 10 games out of the last 15 now. That is...
And Portsmouth are no shabby side. They're 5th.
Yeah, Danny Cowley's took them a long way, and they've won consecutively since he's been there. This is their first drop of points, let alone the first defeat and not win. So great for Burton. I'm worried to play them tomorrow night, but Portsmouth, they're going to be safe. They're going to be in the playoffs anyway, in my opinion. They'll win the next game. But for Burton, yeah, they're safe, and they could be dark horses next season.
No. Hasselbank doing his magic at Burton.
That's why. Hasselbank could take them far with a full season.
No, I just think there's too many strong teams for me. Next, Charlton beat Sunderland 2-1. That is a big game in the context of promotion. Sunderland obviously chasing automatics, but looking unlikely that they'll get that now. They'll need Peterborough to really slip up. I'd agree. Yeah, looks like playoffs is going to be their way, but Charlton are making last gasp push for playoffs.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And, obviously a win for Charlton wasn't great. Even though our form's the worst, it's not the greatest result for us because now we're 5 points behind them, not 2 points behind. So it's not great for us. But for Charlton, it's a great result. Nigel Atkins has come in there and worked his experience with the squad. And, I think he was someone we wanted when Darren Moore left. So we've kind of missed the boat with that one. But yeah, great for Charlton. But Sunderland, to be fair, I'd rather Sunderland lose in the playoffs than go up automatically off through the playoffs, because those cocky Sunderland fans that were telling me about their new owner all the time, they're going to get it just as much as I'm going to get it from all the times I've been cocky about Donny's promotion.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be an It looks like a Portsmouth Sunderland playoff final again this week.
Maybe, but we could suffer together. You never know. Could suffer together.
Possibly. But the last one to talk about, Peterborough smashing Swindon 3-0. A great result for Peterborough. Not so much for Swindon. Obviously trying to fight their way back out of relegation, but they're running out of games.
Yeah, Swindon's running out of time and chances. I think with them, it's just been a very mixed season. It's just going to be about trying to make the best out of this and try and stay up. But if I'm being completely honest, along with Rochdale and probably Wigan, I think Swindon and Bristol Rovers are my bet to go down, to be honest, with Rochdale and Wigan. So I think Swindon's down but out. But Peterborough, good 3 points, and that's 3 points closer to automatic promotion. And that's the embarrassing thing for me as a Donny fan, the fact that 2 of our former managers could get automatic promotion with different teams. Darren Ferguson and Grant McCann, the 2 people that walked out.
Chris saying Charlton getting promotion, Birmingham getting relegated. Imagine.
I want
Never mind, Birmingham are
next season,
safe.
please.
My bad. Birmingham are safe, apparently, according to Chris. Peterborough gonna win the league. No, I think that'll be Hull. I think Hull are just so good. But moving to League Two, it finished Barrow 2, Carlisle 2. Obviously, Chris is a Carlisle fan. I suppose not the actually, I suppose it's not the worst result in the world, but any sort of playoff push. I mean, it could still happen. They're only 3 points behind Newport in 7th. So a last minute push for Carlisle to get playoffs.
Yeah, I think the gap's starting to open up. Not open up. It's starting to close a bit now. A lot more teams are back in the playoff race with other teams dropping points. For Barrow, with their games in hand, I think they're certified safety. I think Southend and Grimsby are going down, in my opinion. So I think Barrow's safe. They just need to go again next season with a new manager, whether that's the temporary manager on a permanent deal or a new manager with a new set of systems, and go again at Barrow. But for Barrow to stay up, I think that both Barrow and Harrogate have had good first seasons in the Football League. Well, Barrow first season back in after so many years, and Harrogate's first ever one. So, yeah, Barrow's done well their first season back.
A couple of Chris saying I hate losing the derby, so didn't. So happy didn't lose. Yeah, that's fair. Moving to Harrogate, they lost 2-1 to Bolton. Bolton really making that claim for automatic promotion next season. This season, looking like they're a good chance of them coming up.
Yeah, and I did get some breaking news over the last half an hour to an hour from Bolton on the fact that Marcus Madison's loan has been cut short due to the injury. So he's gone back to Charlton Athletic now, which is very sad news. But it looks like Bolton can cope without Madison. They've got a good squad of players. And, you know, the fact is Harrogate had the lead and then Bolton completely turned it around over the first and second half. So good win for Bolton. Harrogate, they're not going up. They're not going down. Overall, I think they did the better of the two teams coming up from the National League. So overall, great first season for Harrogate anyway. And maybe they could push on next season like they did at times this season. But for Bolton, they could be up there. I think we could have a trip to Bolton Stadium next season for Donny and Plymouth.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Bradford, they beat Grimsby 1-0. Former Argyle boy Anthony O'Connor with the goal there. Bradford looking like mid-table this season. Grimsby probably certain to go down. Grimsby have had a lot of issues, haven't they?
It is. I don't know if you saw it, but I think Stefan Payne got sent off at the end of the first half for headbutting his own teammate. I mean, it just gets worse. And I can't remember who he squares up to him or he squares up to, but he literally laid the butt on him and red carded him in the tunnel. So for Bradford, you know, they're closing in on the playoff spots, even though it's very unlikely. That's how open it's starting to get now in League Two with the playoff spots. But Bradford, in my opinion, won't get playoffs, but they're starting to give themselves more of a chance now. But with Grimsby, it's just regroup in the conference and just go again.
Yeah, Exeter making a last-minute playoff push as well. They're a point behind Newport, beating Cambridge 4-1. Cambridge, letting the lead at the top of League Two slip. They're now a point behind Cheltenham, and Cheltenham have a game in hand. So, not a great day in the office for Cambridge.
Cambridge have officially lost the University Challenge. But no, Cambridge were just not on point today on that game. Sorry. Exeter, I know you don't like Exeter, and I know you're not a man. But I know you despise Exeter as well as much, more than Derek Adams. But I'll give them credit. They absolutely came out firing in that game against Cambridge. They put Cambridge aside in the automatic places to the sword, making them lose the title race, in my opinion. I think Cheltenham's got the title wrapped in the bag, and that's good for me as a Rovers fan because two of our former players are there, so congratulations to them for League Two promotion. But no, I think that Cambridge will get automatic promotion anyway. It just won't be the title. And then for Exeter, you never know. You know what? This is the first time where I'm saying I can't call it at the minute. I've got to go ahead a couple of weeks to see if I can call it if Exeter's going to go in the playoffs or not. But I can't call it at this stage.
I give them no credit at all. Carlisle still have to play Newport, Cheltenham, Bolton, Leighton Orient. Tough games, but away to Newport, season defining game tomorrow. We lose then. Be hard to reach playoffs. Yeah, I totally agree with that. To beat them though, that doesn't get you even closer. We lucky teams above us have let Carlisle back mathematically in the race for playoffs. Bradford still got a game in hand. That they do. Not on you, though. You, Carlisle, Bradford, Salford, Exeter, and Newport have all played the same amount of games. Forest Green Rovers could slip. That could be something we see.
That's something we see.
I wanted Cambridge to win to help Carlisle out, so thanks, Cambridge. Yeah, thanks, Cambridge, indeed. Scummy X to get 3 points. Couldn't care less, though, because they are an irrelevant club. If there are any Exeter fans watching, by some magical, if the boys in Exeter have found Wi-Fi and have come out of their caves, then hi, how's League 2? But Cheltenham beating Orient 1-0, not much to really say about that. A penalty which could take Cheltenham to the title and Orient mid-table. Port Vale beating Derek Adams Morecambe. Oh no, what a shame. Morecambe looking like they will get playoffs though. So yeah, well done to Adams, you forward. Scunthorpe 0-0 against Tranmere, nothing to really talk there. Salford beating Stevenage though. Stevenage obviously they've got a keeper we both quite like. But Salford they're trying to keep that playoff push alive and doing a fairly good job at it.
Yeah, I think with Salford, it's just a case of they're trying to make the best of it now that Wellens is gone. And, you know, if they can get playoffs and go through it and get promotion through the playoffs to League One, then they've got a better chance of securing a higher rated manager, in my opinion, unless a higher rated manager fancies League Two. But Salford giving them the best possible chance to put them on a centre stage to available managers. But for Stevenage, it's a bad defeat. They're not going to get relegated. They're not going up. It's again going to be a mid-table for Stevenage, and yeah, bad day at the office for them. But they'll come back next season, and hopefully they won't do a relegation battle.
Chris saying winning the title is the same as automatic promotion in the EFL. To be honest, yeah, it's not great, is it? Port Vale, brilliant form. Irrelevant club coming from an Argyle fan. Yeah, as Argyle have an 18,000 seater stadium with fans all over the world, and Exeter have a farm. So yeah, irrelevant club is fairly correct there. I'll say again, not an easy league, is it, Gary Neville? No, of course it ain't. And they were all very naive when they bought the club. But yeah, do smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss another stream. Charles, is it true that you're going to be the next manager next year? I don't think he's got EFL experience, so that would rule him out.
No, to be fair, someone tagged me in it when the post came out and said, "Are you going for it?" And I said, if I had my coaching badges and loads of experience, then it would be nice, but no.
Why do I feel like this name is a name to try and catch me out?
Should I even try and pronounce that?
No. I'm just going to ignore that one. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea who he is or what he's doing.
I don't even think Barmenia is a club or a country.
Yeah, I have no idea. So yeah, I have absolutely no idea who you're talking about. So I think
Barmenia is a country of drunks.
Nice. Southend drawing 0-0 with Crawley. Walsall beating Forest Green Rovers 2-1, which is not great for Forest Green Rovers in terms of playoffs. Could help them slip out. Walsall just sort of doing their own thing at the bottom of League Two. But not much to say. Obviously, the upcoming fixtures, Argyle have got Burton on the weekend. Yeah, good luck us. Utter disgrace. The upcoming games in League One tomorrow, you've got Crewe versus Portsmouth, Wigan versus Sunderland, Wimbledon versus Ipswich, Oxford versus Shrewsbury, Blackpool versus Accrington, Doncaster, Burton, Rochdale, Swindon, Lincoln City versus MK Dons. So some big games coming up in League One. Armenia, he meant to say. Cool.
Okay,
I still
enough.
have no idea who he is. No offense to him. I wouldn't have a clue, so I don't really comment on players I don't know about. Why do I feel like this is another one? I have absolutely no idea who these players are.
No. I saw this name on Twitter. Someone actually, I saw this name on Twitter.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it.
Nice. Big games in League Two tomorrow. Salford, Bolton, Barrow, Exeter, Newport, Carlisle. So, yeah, big games in both divisions. We'll go on to Loan Watch unless there's anything you want to add on any of the results that we just spoke about.
Not really. Just with the Burton fixture, I'm just very nervous about it because I think it'll be with Burton's form and our bad form. It's going to be quite an interesting game to see if we can actually use that as a platform to turn it around at some point. But on the current form, I can't see when we're going to turn it around. So, I mean, I predicted a 2-1 win in my preview on the channel, but loads of other people. But realistically, my head's telling me it's going to be a 1-1 draw or a 2-0 loss.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you facing next?
Burton on Saturday.
So you got our opponents on Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we've got Shrewsbury at 12:30, so we've got a tough test against Shrewsbury.
I'm just hoping that with the week off that we're going to have and them having to play you might make them a bit more tired, but knowing our defence, we'll just still open up.
That could be the case, but yeah, like I said, Burton's going to be tough, but Shrewsbury on Saturday is going to be interesting at 12:30 as well.
We'll still probably open up like prostitutes anyway. But do you want to kick us off on Loan Watch with Matt Smith?
Yeah, like I said earlier, the work rate at times is the only thing I'll give credit for. Apart from that, it was, like you said, quite a quiet game in terms of passing accuracy. Very, very poor at times. But to be honest with you, from the midfield that we started with, I think he was the better out of the three. I think Robertson was like a ghost. And I think that James just didn't feel right in that position. Again, it's just we're using the horses for courses mentality that Darren Moore brought too much. We keep playing people out of position. If we're forced to play people out of position because we've got no choice, then fair enough. But we had Bostock on the bench, we had Richards on the bench, we had Greaves on the bench, who's raring to go again. But we decided to play Reece James as a midfielder rather than as a fullback. So I would have rather to have seen Horton as a right back and then James as a left back, so he can play there, and then someone out and out in the midfield. But yeah, Smith was the best out of a bad bunch. Well, one of the better ones out of a bad bunch.
Moving on, Callum Connolly, Fleetwood, a fairly good game. 4 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 interception. That's not bad from him.
Yeah,
Matson had a very quiet game for Charlton before he came off.
God.
I think he was injured.
Thank God.
I think he came off injured, to be fair. He looked like he had a really quiet game. Luke McCormick had a absolute, well, judging by his passing accuracy at 40%, had a howler.
Yes.
If he's a central midfielder with 40% passing accuracy, that's a howler.
I was just wondering, what was the pass accuracy of Matt Smith compared to Luke McCormick?
Well, Matt Smith was 62, Luke McCormick's was 40.
If Matt Smith was average in that game, then Luke McCormick was shit. That's the best way of putting it. I think you'd be putting, if this was a Plymouth player, you'd be putting shit next to it. And I think that, yeah, it's, again, I think that was an off game, though, for McCormick. He's usually on fire sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, he made 1 key pass, but that doesn't, just in case an off game doesn't mean I'm not going to slander you in Loan Watch. Ryan Edmondson from Northampton, 2 shots, 2 off target. That's all I really need to say there.
Again, if he was a Plymouth player, you'd put shit next to it.
I would. Alex Palmer had a fairly good game for Lincoln. 5 saves, 4 from within inside the box, which is quite impressive. Made 1 high claim as well. Morgan Rogers had 2 shots, but both of them blocked.
It was a quiet game, in my opinion.
He's in a bit of bad form at the moment.
Yeah.
Keelan Watts, I've just put down as shit. Jerome Opoku, I've just put down as shit. Both of them for Argyle from Newcastle and Fulham. Go back to your clubs. Do not come back. Adam Lewis, though, did have a good game, best out of a bad bunch. 3 key passes, made 17 crosses, only 5 of them reaching its destination. 8 long balls, but only 1 of them making its destination. Passing accuracy of 58%, but look, I think that entire team was on holiday there. That's all from League One.
To be fair, I was quite, when I heard you say Callum Watson, Opoku was shit, I was like, what are your thoughts on Will Amerson then? Was he the best out of a bad bunch?
No, they're all shit.
Will Amerson.
You don't concede 3 goals and act like a hooker on a date. And no, I give credit to none of our centre backs.
Jeez,
in fact, I'd quite like it. No, I'd quite like it if they could just go.
I know you don't give credit to anyone, but if you could pick the best out of a bad bunch, would it have been Will Amerson out of those 3 defenders?
No, I'm not sitting here. I'm not sitting here giving credit to any centre back. Not a chance. Not happening.
Well, to be fair, I would have probably been the same. To be fair, because I wouldn't have picked a best defender out of Anderson, Wright, and Horton in that.
I've seen the players are on holiday. Ryan Lowe said that we were too soft, and I have to agree with him. Our defence is can barely. Do you know what? Our defence has clearly got like erectile dysfunction because they can't act like a hard bunch of boys if it even tried them.
I'd agree with that because our defense is built on chocolate foundation. It just melts.
Indiana saying smash the like button, people. Absolutely, make sure you smashing the like button and subscribing to the channel if you want content. I know. Do you know what he's got? This lady, Devil's Avocado, I think is her name. She is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. The way she understands the game and can translate that into words, absolutely phenomenal. So make sure that you do check out her. I hope I got the name right, but she's really good. I think it's Devil's Avocado. If Indiana could confirm in the comments, she's really good. She totally understands Manchester United better than anyone. So if you're looking for a bit of in-depth sort of discussion about United, she is absolutely the woman to go to. I've
come across her a few times on YouTube, and her in-depth analysis is spot on. So yeah, guys, I second that notion. Really go and support her because it would mean a lot to everyone if you go and support her because she deserves success.
Yeah, no, when you can talk about the game that well, then you deserve success and all of that. Because at the end of the day, there's not many that can really delve in deep to their team like that, and I really like it. Rachel, that's her name. Rachel, outstanding ball knowledge. The United show back tomorrow. Absolutely, go check that out. She is absolutely amazing. Love watching her work. Who do you reckon will go out from League One this year? I don't care, but I think it will most likely be Hull, Peterborough, Sunderland. I think that's probably the way it will be. I'm
going to go with Hull, Sunderland, and then out of a playoff final between Sunderland and Charlton, I'm going to go with either. I think Sunderland or Charlton. By the way, full time, even though it's not EFL, West Brom have won 3-0 against Southampton. Just to give you that little full time update from around English football. But yeah, Hull, Peterborough, and either Sunderland or Charlton.
I don't care about West Brom. That's a violation to my head. Haven't seen Barrow beat us in my lifetime. Unlucky Barrow, absolutely unlucky Barrow. Who insane Wimbledon?
I think they could stay up.
Yes, stay up, but I think he was replying to that. Who do you think's going up from League One this year?
Maybe in 10, 15 years if they've got enough of a squad.
Maybe on Football Manager, but yeah. Just wrapping up Lone Watch. Only 3 players played in League 2 this week. Bobby Thomas from Barrow, 7 clearances and 3 tackles.
Wow.
Which is very good. Very good.
Very good performance.
Robbie Cotts for Salford. 1 key pass, 1 long ball that didn't reach its destination. Passing accuracy of 65%. Hooked off for around about the 60th minute mark. Pretty quiet game.
Yeah.
Jamie Cumming from Stevenage lost 2-1 to Salford. Made 2 saves, 4 high claims. Not a lot he can do. He was a lot busier this weekend than he normally is.
Yeah, I agree
Liam
with that.
Liam saying no Charlie tonight, lol. Anyway, poor result from Argyle, but don't care anymore, to be honest, as we are 100% safe. Charlie's laptop isn't working, so unfortunately we can't have his West Country reaction of Bristol Rovers.
I think he'd rather avoid this result, to be honest.
Owen saying if they had Charles as manager, I mean...
If I was manager, I would have put the shits up them players and told them to work for the badge or don't even bother turning up.
Okay, so I can confirm he would lose the dressing room within day 1. You can't... I hear so many people, I have it on my channel as well, that go, oh, just blow the rocket up their backside. I'm like, well, you will lose the dressing room pretty damn quickly, because unfortunately... players these days don't respond well to anger. It's why Fergie probably wouldn't do very well in this era. Now, if Fergie just started in this era, that style of management wouldn't be happening.
If the modern day players got the Fergie hairdryer treatment, they would have just blown it away.
Yeah, but Fergie was quite smart because he would never give Nani the hairdryer treatment because Nani would start running away wetting himself. Whereas if he needed to give Nani the hairdryer treatment, he would just give it to Wayne Rooney, and that would be an indication that Nani was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that, boss. Wayne, sorry that you got shouted at. Chris saying Hull, Peterborough for automatic, Sunderland for playoffs, but anything can happen in playoffs. Absolutely. Charles would throw the water bottle. He probably. Lawson saying give him a smack around the head. Yeah, I don't think they condone violence anymore in the dressing rooms. But that is everything from Lone Watch. We'll be back again on next Monday. As I'm sure Argyle will let me down yet again. Doncaster probably lose again, and Bristol Rovers probably draw. They seem
I'll lose both games. I'll lose both games. Both Burton and Shrewsbury. Yeah. And our playoff hunt will be over. Our playoff hunt will be over mathematically.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. But before we go, make sure you have liked the video and that you're subscribed to the channel. Indiana saying the United tomorrow. With I think it's Indiana and Rachel. Again, sorry if I have got that wrong, but I think it's them two that do that with a few guests, I'm sure, or something like that. I also know that Next Gen is back tomorrow night at 10, so make sure you give them youngsters all the support you can. Chris saying I'm a no-nonsense manager. I wouldn't last long as a manager. Yeah, I agree. That's sort of... getting to know KJ tonight, 10 p.m. So if you want to get to know about KJ, tune in tonight. Right?
Mate, what I will say before we end is that KJ's just an absolute baller. Great guy. I was supportive when I came on the football terrace the first time round, and always been supportive. So shout out to KJ if you end up watching this, man. And yeah, go and check out that out tonight, 10 p.m. here on the First 11.
Absolutely, make sure you check out that tonight. Rovers will lose. Bristol is red.
Oh,
unfortunately, neither of us are Bristol City or Rovers fans, so that doesn't really bother me. Big up to Craig. You two are brilliant, guys. Keep it up. Fab knowledge. Big up yourselves. Big up to yourself as well. And where can they find you, Aaron?
So you can find me on Forever Football DRFC on YouTube. We've got some brilliant content coming up from now to the end of the season. Technology. I've got my new laptop tomorrow, so the technology's going to be back in running. The green screen's going to be back in full operation at the end of the week. And then, going into the summer, we've got some brilliant stuff planned. And then you can also check me out on Twitter at Aaron_Challoner. All lowercase. If you don't know how it's spelled, then just comment on one of the videos and I'll reply to you. But yeah, keep living the Rovers life. Let's hope for a good end to the season, and then we start again with the new manager.
Yes, absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at Niall_PAFC. You can also find me on YouTube at Let's Talk Premier League. We've got a show later on in about 28 minutes time, weekly review show, some big results. Going to be discussing if Son is a cheating scumbag. That is what we're going to be discussing. We are going to be discussing if Son is a cheating scumbag, and that
he doesn't deserve the racist abuse.
No, of course, no one deserves racial abuse. That's just goes without saying.
No.
But also, we're going to be discussing why Trent has just told Gareth Southgate to come outside for a fight, because that's exactly what he did at Anfield. So, Gareth, Trent would like you outside now. It's something about inconsistent form. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So we've got them later on in about 27 minutes. So it's going to be a good one. So make sure you tune in for that one. Got a great panel. I've got some new faces sort of being introduced into the channel.
I can't wait to watch the weekly review. Like that story about Trent, that's excited me now, because that's like Godzilla against Mario in a fight. Trent will fucking deck him.
Yeah, so Trent's called Gareth outside. Son is apparently a cheating scumbag, and there was some other good results as well. So make sure you tune in for that.
VAR controversy.
We discussed VAR on the ref's view on Thursdays at 7 o'clock with me and Dom. And yeah, is it bad that for the thumbnail of that, I've genuinely now had to get the VAR monitor put in there? Because every single show is discussing VAR.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's a permanent thumbnail from now until VAR gets scrapped, because VAR is just out of this. What you get one controversy, you get the next one, then you get the next one. The only game that I can think of last week that was actually with nothing controversial was Sheffield United Arsenal, and that's because both teams are shit.
Do you know? I'm just glad we don't have VAR in League 1 and 2.
They were discussing the idea, weren't they, months ago? And I was like, no, don't bring that down there. We'll get screwed big time.
I'm all right, thanks. I'll stick with the inconsistent referees if that's right.
I'm happy with goal line. I'm happy with goal line, but not that.
Yeah, goal line's fine. Goal line is just a bleep of the watch, and
keep it a goal line.
Yeah, sure. What I couldn't care about goal line technology. That seems to be working, but VAR doesn't work, and I'd like to not see that at Home Park. I'll take the inconsistent referees and move. But yeah, as I said tonight, get to know KJ tonight, 10 p.m. So make sure you tune in for that. Go check out all our socials. Go check out our channels as well. And until next Monday, we will see you later. And thanks for watching.
Come on, Rovers!